Welcome to the Seeds of Transformation podcast with Dr. Allma Johnson. Today, we are going to step into a story that is raw as it is redemptive. My guest, Rochelle Rogers, has walked through a valley many could never imagine. A life-shattering accusation against her husband, the weight of whispers, the storm of shattered trust, and the long shadows of judgment. Yet through it all, she discovered something unshakable: the grace of God that meets us in our most fragile places. Her book, The Journey of Grace, is not just a memoir, it's a testament to what hope looks like when it trembles, what love means when it's tested, and what faith looks like when it's the only thing left to hold. Today we'll talk and walk with Rochelle through the storms, through the house built on rumors, through fragile hope, and into the kind of grace that reshapes a life from the inside out. This is a conversation about courage, resilience, forgiveness, and the unseen hand of God leading through pain into purpose. Let us begin. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Seeds of Transformation podcast with Dr. Allma Johnson. We have a powerful testimony today. Sister Rochelle, would you mind explaining your book a little bit and telling us a little bit about yourself before we get into the questions we have for you today?
Well, the book that I wrote is basically a journey that I took with God concerning the incarceration of my deceased husband that I was part of. Presently, I am a mother of one son, and I have 3 grandchildren. And also, I have been in the teaching profession, especially in the area of special education, for over 40 years. Presently, I do teach at a charter school in the Las Vegas area. And I'm also part of the ministry of Mountaintop Faith Ministries, which actually I'm really the part that I play is, is I'm actually working with Student Life Ministries, which is teaching actually and educating our children, and particularly middle school age right now. I do that. And what else do I part of? I actually, God had me start a small group of women where we, for several years now, some of us have been together over 5 years. Well, we've actually decided a book to actually read and study.
Okay, wonderful.
So, and it could be Joyce Meyer's, one of Joyce Meyer's, Battlefield of Mind, or whatever. Well, presently we're almost done with Discerning the Voice of God by Priscilla Shirer.
Okay.
So I'm part of that as well.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So Discerning the Voice of God, is that Joyce or Priscilla?
That was Priscilla.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, cool. Wonderful. Well, I really enjoyed your book. I automatically, not to say that it wouldn't be, but the authentic honesty and all of the things just like really hit you. Really enjoyed it. So I wanted to have you on the podcast because I know there's someone out there who's on this journey of grace, which is what your book is title and hope and all of the things. There's someone out there that could be on the same journey or have had the same journey. How do I handle this? What do I do, God? What do I do now? So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that with you today. So thank you again for joining me on the Seeds of Transformation podcast, and welcome again. Your book is deeply personal. Can you share what inspired you to write your book, The Journey of Grace?
Well, I'm not sure how long ago. It's been a while since I've been. But there was one summer that I was at home, and the Lord said, "You know, you need to start writing down your this journey."
Yes.
Okay. And I may still do this. I always thought that maybe I'll write a book about grace.
Yes.
So many verses in the Bible about grace.
Hmm.
And however, the Lord still said, "No, I think you need to do this because there are a lot of things that," and my whole purpose is I don't think this journey of what a wife goes through when their husband is incarcerated really is like. I don't think that story has ever been told.
Yeah, you don't hear that a lot. You don't. At least,
So
yeah. Yeah.
that's the premise of why I mean, it is a very unique situation. And specifically because we were both in the church. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, he was the one that witnessed to me
Oh, wow. Okay.
years before we ever got married. So this touches a lot of things. It touches a lot of things.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so that's what, and this was a way of healing for me because a lot of things were just stuffed
Hmm.
inside. And so it's just a way of getting all of those out, basically out on paper.
Yes.
So that was my purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. I can feel that emotionally too. Um, Being a writer myself, that journey of stopping and going and here a tear falls and then a memory of, something joyful. So I can feel that emotionally for you. You face a life-shattering accusation against your husband. Can you walk us through the day it happened and what was your immediate reality, your first
Well,
thoughts,
the
the
meat,
emotions that flooded you?
the
Share that
meat
with us.
was it was shocking,
Yes.
very shocking. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, the day that it happened, actually, actually, we were both on our way to, Theo was on his way to school,
Mhm.
and I was on my way to work. However, Theo's school started earlier than actually where Tim and I were. Tim
Uh-huh.
was going to go on to work. Well, before he actually left the house before we did at the time. God said, "Anoint your husband."
Mhm. Mhm.
So I did, not knowing what I was going to face when I came home. When I came home late afternoon, I received a call from the local jail.
Wow.
It said that I had been picked up for sexual abuse of a minor.
Wow.
And I was just in
Mm.
utter shock.
Yeah.
And as the days went on, it was like I was in this nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a nightmare, you know, because I had never experienced this. And and this was like the end of August that year. And then I had a nephew call me at some point, like middle September. I hadn't went to see him either, maybe because of fear.
Yes.
Um, and he called me. He said, "No one is supporting my uncle." And I'm going like, "Well, wait a minute.
Okay.
You know, you don't know what my side of the story is either."
Yeah.
So, um, anyway, I actually did go the time I did go before the actual court date for
Hmm.
him to be tried. In that process, I went to go see him the first time, and that was an experience because I had never been on that in this situation at all, you know.
Mm.
But God gave me the strength to go see him, And of course, everything is limited. You're only there for a short period of time, and then you have to leave and all of that.
Okay.
Um, but the day that, what's interesting is the day that I went to actually to the lawyer's office. And what happens is you get for your first offense like that, you have a public defender. So I
Mm.
went he gave me the number, the location, the person. So I went to them. That day is when it was put in the papers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the first thing that the lawyer asked me said, "Well, Mrs. Rogers, how are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm doing okay." He said, "Well, you certainly look like you are, because I'm just letting you know it was put in the papers what your husband did."
Wow.
So not only did the church know about it, the community know about it.
Yes, yes. It's in the paper. Right.
And it was not once, but twice.
Oh, wow. When
And
you
it,
say once or twice, you mean in the paper or?
yes, in the paper.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And so there was a lot of fear, unknown, embarrassment, shame,
Hmm.
tied up together at that moment.
Yeah. Wow.
So what
I, mm,
my mother did this though, before the court case came on, she told me, she says, Rochelle, I'm going to go with you.
mm-hmm.
I know you will go by yourself, but that's not how it's going to roll. You may not even feel like driving yourself home.
Yeah.
So she went with me, and some of the members of his family came too on that day. The judge gave him 10 years.
Mm.
And my thought was, oh my gosh, now I'm
Yeah.
becoming a single mom. And that was not my intentions
Mm-hmm.
at all for this life, you know? And all kinds of things go through your mind.
Oh,
So,
yeah, I can imagine. Oh,
how do I even protect my son?
right. Oh, yeah. Yes.
So, in fact, that day I told him, you don't have to go to school, but I was not going to have him come and see this.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was not coming.
Wow.
No.
In the midst of such turmoil, how did you find the courage to hold on to hope? What was it ever fleeting hope? And if so, how did you reclaim it? What
You
was
know,
that like for you?
it was fleeting. It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
However, God showed me that I needed now an inner healing.
Mm.
Because back in the before we ever got married, I was date raped, so I had never dealt
Oh,
with.
wow.
So now it's time to get some inner healing.
Wow.
Me, okay, help me on so that I can start unpacking all of this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I actually knew that I needed. Uh, God just orchestrated the. I said, Lord, I need some help, and He did. He directed me to a particular woman, and for 9 months we unpacked all
Wow.
everything. Okay. She was quite aware, and she allowed me one night just to tell my whole story from the beginning of my upbringing all the way up to the present.
Mm-hmm.
And she would ask questions from them, but she was just listening. And
Yeah.
that's what I needed more than anything else, was someone just to listen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now judging, just to listen.
Just to listen. That's huge. Wow.
We did that for 9 months. Okay. And we met once a month. So it helped. And her pastor knew exactly what she was doing. She wasn't even a member of the church I went to, but she was spirit. And that was the thing. I needed a spiritual counselor. I didn't
Yes.
want just someone school knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. You need the biblical counseling. Yeah.
That's that's right. Okay. So that's what I did, and that helped a whole lot, because I was actually thinking the church was going to help me.
Mm-hmm.
Not no,
Wow.
not the local church, not my
Yeah.
local body church. No, no, they weren't going to help.
Mm.
They were silent.
Yeah. Wow. And that is not shaming the church. I just want to say this. There are a lot of times churches don't have the resources or the people there to do these kinds of things. Or maybe they just didn't know what to do or who to refer you to. But I'm glad the Lord placed this individual, that woman, in your steps, for you to break all that down, unwrap all of those things for that 9 month period. Um, with all of these things that were happening, and then now, or at that time, then that, your book touches on the visits in the storms. I about broke down when I read that. I said the visits in the storms. Um, these are the times that are marked by the glass and the bars and
Mhm.
all of the things that it encompassed. That what were those moments like, and how did they shape your understanding of love, loyalty, and resilience? What was that like, those storms, the storms?
Um, it actually it taught me, certainly. There was a point bef actually before he actually was probably placed
Mm-hmm.
in prison that he was going to be in for a while. But just at that moment, I said, "Well, Lord," I said, "I give me the heart that you have for us,
Mm-hmm.
unconditional love." And so God gave me that unconditional love for Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the visits, yes, there is not very much privacy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You really, even when I went to see him at the intake place, they give you, you sit in front of each other. There's a designated place that you sit. You're watched by the guards or a guard. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you have your conversation. Um, it's just it's so it's like it's so confining. It's you're like I said, I mean, he even before he even comes in to visit me, he searched me
Yes. Mm-hmm.
totally. I mean, it's almost to the point where after a while you start getting used to all those
Okay.
every jump, so to speak. I There was a time that I missed his visit by because there's certain times that you can be there. I missed
Mm-hmm.
about 2 minutes to be there, and the guard said, "I'm sorry, time was up."
Right. Yeah.
I drove, hour and a half.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know. Um, there was a time also that he had been placed in the hole, and usually when you don't know that, they don't tell you, "Oh, by the way, you can't see your husband because he's in the hole."
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, they got him out of the hole for me to come to see him. Actually,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
so that's the other thing too. You start. It's not like you can call him up and talk. No, it's the other way around.
Right. Yeah.
Find you.
Yeah.
Sometimes we miss each other. So
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
it's in a strain, what we call an strained relationship. How can you have a relationship like that?
Mm-hmm. Very much so. It's strange. Yeah.
You know, so um, so that I just learned that God gave me the strength to do the hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then the other thing too is that God orchestrated a time while he was there at one of the institutions that they actually had a marriage workshop for
Mm.
couples. So I took a day off every month from work and would drive out there and we would spend the day there. We would have lunch there.
Okay.
And what was nice about it is that there were other couples in there. So at this place, most of them were the husbands that were incarcerated and the wives were the ones out.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was a just a whole thing about marriage, how to strengthen your marriage in a situation like that. So God had
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a way for us to actually strengthen our marriage, even though we were miles apart and he was there and I was out. He was
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that helped
Yeah.
too.
So now I'm thinking about the stares, the whispers, the judgment from others. Um, how did you navigate as you spoke about the house built on rumors?
Yeah.
And what did it teach you about public perception versus a private truth, that private truth?
I always, well, I guess God gave me it during that time, really a thick skin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had to realize that whatever people were saying may not be really the truth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was not going to challenge it. I was not out seeking for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No. If anything, I'm a very, very private person anyway.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, though there were sometimes a sense that when I walked into the room,
Mm.
I sensed
Oh yeah.
they were discussing.
Yeah. Wow.
There was a time, though my husband and I, even though we were still at the same church, didn't happen at church. It happened actually at both of us were at a meeting together as far as, because he also was in education, but he was an assistant teacher.
Okay. Okay.
So we were at something that both schools were involved with, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
time, and both of us came together. That's the first time in our life, actually, because he was at one school and I was another school, completely
Okay.
part of of the city. And I almost sensed, what? She's married to him?
Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm. See, where Tim was actually taken was when he went that day to work.
Mm. Okay.
Came to him at his job,
That was at the school.
at the school that he was at. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Oh
So
my.
whoever was in that meeting also might have been at the school that he was at,
Oh, okay.
found out that he was taken.
Wow. Okay. My goodness.
Yeah.
With all of that, you also write about which many may think of this too, because I definitely did, a strange kind of loyalty. And then also there's a grief that no one talks about. How did you reconcile loving someone while grappling with this profound betrayal and the societal scrutiny? You know, we're not talking about a person who has done these things. You know, I mean, a sex offender. What does that look like for you, or what did that look like for you?
Well, I'll tell you that it's looked at when you're an ex-sex offender. It is looked
Yes,
out as the hideous thing you could ever have done.
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
But God kept telling me through all of that, sin is sin regardless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he does, and he's getting me to look at it the way he looks at it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That is just as wrong as robbing somebody,
Right.
just
Exactly.
as wrong as telling a lie
Mm-hmm.
or living a lie. Okay. We just have a tendency to put it in categories.
Yes.
And that's not what God does.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't put it in categories.
Wow. Okay. That takes me to Romans 3 and 23. Right before that verse, it says, there is no difference. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So just like God says, He told you sin is sin. Um, and we have many individuals like him that are living amongst us today, praying for them as well as we're praying for other people, for everyone's strength. But it's like you said, sin is sin, and it's not looked at any differently. What about the fragile hope? Is this is a theme throughout your journey. Can you define what fragile hope means to you during incarceration and
Well,
parole, and how evolved, I should say, excuse me, over that 10-year
well,
time?
it means to me that I still have that hope though,
Okay.
and that there will be some brighter days ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there were some dark moments, some dark days, some
Mm-hmm.
very disappointing things. Um, the other thing that I try not to do is to get to the point of a lot of self-pity,
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
not to have those pity parties.
Yeah.
Also, I involved myself also with prison, which I had the opportunity at those years to inspire and encourage other prisoners that
Mm-hmm.
are going to be coming out soon, what they're going to need to not only look forward to, but also to get their minds wrapped around. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They will be sick so they can stay out successfully. I
Uh-huh.
also had a chance to serve as a Bible teacher at one of the prisons in Racine,
Okay.
Wisconsin, weekly for a couple of years too.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, and then being a single mom, raising Theo,
Mm-hmm.
uh, still have my teaching career. So, in
Yes.
a sense, that's, and still doing things at the church that I was at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that that's what I was doing.
Okay.
That helped a whole lot.
Yeah, yeah. Your book also touches on forgiveness and the unseen path. How do you differentiate the forgiveness from forgetting? And how did faith guide you in navigating that path, that
You
forgiveness
know,
and
there
unseen?
is,
Yeah.
well, I honestly feel that I and believe that I had really forgiven Tim.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Um, and however, there is a difference between forgiveness and forget.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I did not forget it.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be in my mind.
Yes.
Um, and but as far as forgiving, yes.
Okay.
Part I had to, yes, God just brought me through all of that,
Mm-hmm.
those those phases of forgiveness. Yes, there was even in grief, there was moments of anger too. There was
Oh yeah, I bet.
I was actually angry at God
Mm.
because I thought I didn't I didn't call myself up to being for this to happen. This
Okay.
okay. And then I'm thinking, well, I also knew that my husband was calling out for help too,
Mm.
okay, indirectly. Um, and I felt like if I could have done this or that, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
However, I did recognize, though, that there is a difference between forgiveness
Mm-hmm.
and forgetfulness. I wasn't, even when he came back into my life, I did not put anything like, well, you should have, kind of thing. Put it,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not forgiveness. That was not. I did not have that mindset at all. I had a mindset, but let's try to work this out. Can we try to if there is any way to reconcile this,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to try. He was going to try as well. It's not just me, but him too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, that was good. Many might confuse love with fear.
Mhm.
How did you recognize the difference in your own life, especially in the context of moving forward after trauma? Because this is traumatic,
Uh,
not only for you, but also for now you have your child, you have your son. So,
you know, it wasn't. I'll say this. I had to once I found, which I hadn't for even in our early years of marriage, a safe place.
mm.
Found a safe place, and that safe place was at for a while for those 9 months with those women.
Okay, yeah.
Also, I also started getting very more hungry for God's word
Mm. Okay.
because of that. Um, I had now a little more time to actually spend where he was actually he was actually studying the books of the Bible
Okay.
methodically while he was at one of the facilities. And he is he would he was blessed in that way so that he spent a lot of his waking moments
Mm-hmm.
discussing learning about God's word. And while you're in prison, they do have Bible correspondence courses that are free
Yes.
for, for,
Mm-hmm.
for those that are out. So I was actually going through that particular Bible course. And in that, I also God directed me to another group of people that where I would go on Sunday evenings to that
Mm.
church, and all we did was read the word.
Okay.
So that in itself was very healing for me.
Yes.
Okay. And it just, like I said, it was a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
And those people just accepted, they knew what happened, they knew that situation, but they
Mm-hmm.
were questioning a lot of things. In fact, one of them said verbatimly, you really don't need to stay married to your husband.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what God told me.
Okay.
Not at that time. Okay. So, yeah. So that's kind of how I kind of learn the difference between fear and love
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a little bit. That helped.
Okay. Yeah. Now, returning to the same type of thing, the same thing after parole. It happened again.
Yes.
What was that experience like emotionally, mentally, and spiritually? How did you challenge or affirm your growth then?
Well, I'll say this that at that point of our relationship, I was beginning to get very weary.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And there was a point where he called me. He was at a different, well, actually, at that moment, and he was actually, no, I'll take that back. When he when he had to go back to be incarcerated, that moment, this was really tough because now I realized I was alone.
Yes.
Theo at that time was now coming to Vegas to start his life. And 2 days later, Tim is now going back into.
Wow.
So I was alone. And I had in my entire life never had that experience to be all alone. In other words, live alone. Okay. So the grief came back, obviously, the sadness, the loneliness came back. And I was also seeing that God was starting to close the doors,
Mm.
close the doors, close the, uh, almost to say that, you know what, Tim is going to be okay. He's going back.
Yeah.
Um, he'll be fine. And what he probably needs to do is now, in my mind, I'm thinking now when he does come back, I won't be there
Mm.
to welcome him back.
Okay. Okay.
And now he's going to have to learn how to live by himself. And so, and because he's going to be on parole there for a while before he can
Right.
come and join me in. So I could see that the doors were closing in a
Hmm.
sense that now it's time for me to have a new beginning, for me to have a new beginning.
Right.
Oh, I had that mind where, okay, my the career was actually the door was
Mhm.
closed at that point, at that particular time. And then also I could see that even for the church, how I've not that I've outgrown it, but whatever was said over the pulpit, I'm sorry, I'm a little blind beyond that now.
Okay.
So it's time to um, come to where God has for me to do. And in the year of 2008 of February, Theo called me and said, I just want you to know you're going to be a grandma. So why don't you sell the house and come and join me? And that's what I did.
Um, this is a lot. My next question, you talked about grief,
Mhm,
and grief often manifests cyclically
mhm,
in cycles, especially in complex situations like incarceration.
yeah.
How did you experience these cycles, and what strategies or spiritual truths? We you talked about the 9 months and so forth, but what helped you to endure those cycles?
I think, well, actually, obviously, I'm a person that kept busy, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm actually a intercessor as far as prayer goes, and I think just having that not only interceding, well, interceding for others for sure,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and doing things that I believe God wanted me to do at that moment, and then just Him just through the Word of God, just encouraging me um, at certain moments,
Mm-hmm.
really fully transparent with Him and say, God, I hate this. You know,
Yes.
I hate this. What's going on? I don't like this. You know, um, and God just He just kept encouraging me through the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't recall anybody at this point really coming alongside me and saying, I'm feeling you. It just was to me. It was just me and Jesus.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah.
It was just me and Jesus.
Hmm. I wonder, just back, you talked about, you saw how God was closing the doors. And
Mhm.
then you said, it's just me and Jesus. I can't think of how many times where many of us, you and I, many that are listening, have had to have those moments where it is just you and Jesus, nothing from the outside. I just thought about that. Um, after all you've been through, yes, we still just need those me and Jesus moments. But after all you've been through, what does trusting God with your future look like today? How do you reconcile the sovereignty of God
Mhm.
with
Well,
human pain and timing? What does that look like?
well, trusting God basically is it's almost like a moment by moment
Mm,
situation where God is saying, "Do you really trust me?
mm-hmm.
Trust me?" Um, and doing that, but also learning how much God really loves me and really
Yes.
best for me. And presently, I'm just trying to live a life that I know whose I am,
Oh, yeah.
of, regardless of what's going on around me or how I may be really feeling at that moment.
Absolutely.
Is my Heavenly Father,
Hmm.
and that He will never leave me.
Yes.
He will never leave me. Maybe other people have left or don't have rejected who I am or
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
that, but
Mm.
I never did that. And He knows what's best for me.
Yes.
And then I always have to remember too that God sent His only Son to die for me,
Hmm.
even when I didn't realize He even did that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that He went through more than I even did, even in my experience of this journey.
Yes.
And even on the cross, there was a moment that God turned himself away from his own son.
Yeah.
That would never happen to us, you know? And even though there is pain, a lot of inconvenience, a lot of hurt, a lot of rejection,
Hmm.
it still came to say that God's grace is really sufficient.
It is. Wow. He's still sovereign. He's still good.
Yes.
All of those things.
Mhm.
Looking back now, is
Mhm.
there a moment or insight you wish others could fully understand about living through an accusation, public scrutiny? Um, you talked about rejection, those rejecting you, and then ultimate grace. What does that look like looking back now?
Well, ultimately, even though I will say this is the part of the journey now that I'm in my life presently is unpacking how rejection has affected
Mm,
people in my world
wow.
as well as myself.
Can
Okay.
you say that again? How rejection has impacted?
My life, but how it has affected everyone in my life. No,
Wow.
I've put up walls where there probably
Mm,
walls put up, but because of rejection that I had gotten, that's I just did. I put up walls, and those walls might have been falsely put up.
mm,
So I'm going through that process right now of sorting all of that out.
hmm.
But what I can actually give people is that when you go through something like this, there are many women that I have actually know for a fact. One particular said when I told them just that my husband was incarcerated is when I came to
Hmm. Hmm.
Vegas, and she said, that my first husband that happened to, but I wasn't going to stay with that. In other words,
Hmm.
forced him shortly, and now she remarried someone else.
Yes.
Another woman said to me that when I was leaving, that, oh, you're not going to wait
Oh,
anymore.
wow. Hmm.
Not going to wait anymore. I've had a lot, even a guy say to me one time, what? Why are you waiting?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but God knew that I still needed to have something to latch onto at that point,
Mm-hmm.
at that hope, you know,
Yeah.
that it 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 could work. It still could work. Um, so all I can say is that if you're going on this path,
Yeah.
that your relationship with God will certainly be strengthened.
Yes.
God will always give you the people, or you need to pray for the people who are going to walk alongside you,
Mm-hmm.
not to necessarily say anything, but just to be with you, to hear and to listen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, that you need a safe place where you can be who you really are
Right. Right.
without worrying about, oh, did I say the wrong thing?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Did I mean, they've
We
already
have
known,
enough of that already.
and then make a judgment right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, you don't really know who I am
Mm-hmm.
because I married this person and what they did. And that was the other thing too, is that because I was going through this grief for certainly my son even told me, he says, Mom, all you did that first year was cry. I
Mm.
I probably did. But that was like your first year when your husband leaves you. I mean, not leaves you, but dies.
Oh yeah.
That's how you feel.
Yeah. It does.
You'll drop anything, you'll just produce tears.
Yeah. I can imagine because that is a level of grief, so yeah.
And so I said so one thing I did commence to is that when my husband did leave this life, we Theo asked me, Mom, do you want to speak at Dad's funeral? And I said, yes,
Hmm. Hmm.
I can speak. And he's going to give me exactly what to say. Because what I wanted the people that did come,
Mm.
there's another side of, I had the privilege of seeing another side of this man.
Okay. Hmm.
You guys never saw because I
Right.
with them.
Yeah. This was a picture painted now from, what happened, so yeah, you did have that opportunity to see something different. Yeah. Hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, but I also need to say this too, is that to help yourself, one should get into some therapy or
Hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
so that you can start unpacking all the emotions and start figuring out, okay, why did I act like that? And really start searching yourself, okay, as far as even your mental thoughts,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
so that you can become whole,
Hmm. Hmm.
okay? So yeah,
Yeah.
I would give that
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah, because it definitely all not in a selfish way, but it becomes about you and then your family. Um, for listeners today who may be walking on a path of misunderstood loyalty, quiet grief, or social judgment, what words of hope would you give or encouragement would you offer from your own journey?
Well, the encouragement that I can give this audience who may be going through the same path,
Mm-hmm.
that um, God will never leave you
Yes.
alone, and He will give you what you need, even even if it's a situation where you realize, oh, I didn't know that about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. there were some things that I had to actually realize that, oh, I didn't know I could do that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, and be able to be, and then one thing he will develop, actually develop courage in you.
Hmm.
He'll develop courage. He will give you courage
Yeah.
to walk this walk, you know. And um, God will, he will do it exceedingly whatever.
Hmm.
That verse it says exceedingly
Oh
abundantly.
yeah. But
He,
all we could ask or think, absolutely. Yeah.
he will do that.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that's the best hope I can give anyone in that situation because God knew from the beginning
Oh yeah.
what I was going to face, and He actually prepared me.
Mm.
Even probably the time of my walk prepared me for that moment to be able to walk through it too.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's just that preparation, what you needed to do to get through this time to raise your son, because I think a lot of people forget about, if you do have children, you still have to be there. It's just a lot. You're still there for your child. You're there for yourself. It's a lot. And finally, before we wrap up today's podcast, as an educator, as the wife, now writer, congratulations. Not to say that you haven't done it before, but I believe this is your first published book.
Yep, first one. Mhm.
Congratulations. This is awesome. And it's good, y'all. It's really good. Um, how has this journey reshaped your purpose, your understanding of grace? Oh, I don't want to cry.
So,
And the way you approach life today. Grace is something else, y'all. What does that look like for you?
well, it's given me a purpose
Mm-hmm.
to encourage others and help others to see a brighter day ahead,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that with only God's strength and guidance, and that His purpose will give you hope that will sustain you through all the storms that come through your life,
Yes,
no
yes,
matter what they are. Whether
yes.
it's a storm of, in my situation, an incarcerated husband, whether it
Mm-hmm.
is maybe an illness that you have to battle every day,
Absolutely.
all of those things.
Yes.
And it took me on a journey too, like even having the chance to be in the prison to
Mm-hmm.
work, not to work, but to just to teach His word
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and also encourage these men um, that when you get out, you know you're you're going to have to figure out what you really want to do with your life.
Yes, yes.
With all of that, he also helped me to dispel a lot of myths
Mm.
about prisons
Okay.
because what we see on television is not
Yes. Movies, right.
really the real deal.
Okay,
Those
okay.
are those are human beings in there. And yes, they made a wrong choice. And that was the other thing too. There was a time when I was going to see Tim, and even the guards
Mm.
treat you like you're an inmate. And
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
good and well you didn't do a
Right. It's like I'm just here to visit,
I'm
right?
taxing, I'm paying some of my tax, my hard-earned money is going to
Yeah.
pay you your salary and this facility. Um, and I had to put in my head, this was a choice, or these were the choices that my husband made,
Yes. Yeah.
not these choices. He made these choices.
Right.
And I had to put that through my head.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Wow. The journey of grace. Um, if I can say so safely, I just see grace still. Grace will never end. It follows us all the days of our lives. along with God's mercy. But The Journey of Grace by Rochelle Rogers. Thank you so much, Rochelle, for joining me today on the Seeds of Transformation podcast. I know God will bless you continuously, immensely, like we just spoke. You just spoke it yourself, over and above what we could ever ask or think. Listen, thank you again. I hope you have an amazing day forward. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah, no problem. We are reminded that grace is not abstract. It's lived. It shows up in whispered prayers behind bars, in fragile hope that refuses to die, and in the quiet strength to endure the judgment of others while holding fast to God's truth. Rochelle's journey doesn't offer easy answers. It offers something far greater, the assurance that even in betrayal, grief, and misunderstanding, God's grace is still writing the story. If you find yourself today in the tension of loyalty and loss, standing under the weight of rumors, or searching for hope that feels too fragile to last, Rochelle's journey reminds us, yes, grace is enough. And He, the grace of God, will carry you too. Listen, thank you for joining me here today on the Seeds of Transformation podcast for this conversation. Until next time, may you walk boldly in the grace that never fails. Take care, y'all. And as always, keep growing in all things of God.